Hello, I'm Breno Giacomini, right tackle for the New York Jets, and I'm about to tell you how I got here. I was born into a Brazilian household. We spoke Portuguese, we ate rice and beans, We didn't learn the language until we got into school. Until about the second grade is when I first learned how to speak English. That's when the American culture was forced upon me, in a good way. I didn't know really much about basketball or football. But the more I saw it, the more I played it, the more I loved it. Growing up in the Boston area, I became a fan of Drew Bledsoe at a young age. He was tall, he was skinny, and he could throw the ball across the schoolyard, which is basically what I could do. So he became an instant role model for me. Growing up, my father got a job at the maintenance department at the Marriott in Boston. One opportunity came about when the Patriots were having a formal dinner at the Marriott that my dad was working in. And so my dad took me to this dinner, and I brought my New England starter jacket to hopefully get a signature. And everybody's sitting there in a suit and tie, and here comes this 11, 12-year-old kid in a starter jacket running across the stage trying to get a signature from Drew Bledsoe. And that really changed the love for the game for me, because I got to meet my role model. That's kind of where the love of the game started for me. One hard thing was I could play football on the schoolyard and stuff like that, but I only got to play 1 year of Pop Warner because I was too big. And so that's when I really transitioned more to basketball. So I focused a lot on basketball. In high school, I didn't play football because I wanted to play basketball. Finally, my senior year, the guys were harping on me to come back to play one more year. You gotta play, this is our last year playing football. I gave it a shot, and my defensive coordinator, Coach Ray Bogus, told me that I could go play Division I football. I didn't even know what Division I meant at the time, okay? I had no idea how this was about to change my life. We made a football tape. It had one game on it. That was my best game ever. I think I had like 4 sacks, a whole bunch of defensive plays. So we sent that game, and then the rest was basketball, just to kind of show the athletic ability. Coach had one school in mind, and that was the University of Louisville. And we sent the tape down there, and I think maybe 30 minutes after they watched the tape, they called me up. Coach offered me a scholarship, and I said yes with a big smile on my face, because I knew my mom and my dad were going to be extremely happy. Not only am I going to go to school, but it's going to be paid for. At the time, I didn't understand the platform that I had at the University of Louisville. These kids growing up in Louisville, that's all they had. That was their pro team, After a few years, I figured it out that these kids will listen to what I'm saying, and they might not listen to a teacher or a coach, but they'll listen to a university football player. So that's kind of where giving back to the community started for me. I was lucky enough to get drafted in the 5th round by the Green Bay Packers, and that's where my NFL journey started. Being drafted to Green Bay, I was a project. They told me that right away. Week 4 of my 3rd year is when Seattle called me and offered me, a position on their team. And so we took it. I felt like a change might be good. But I also got cut 3 times in Seattle. Eventually it worked out. I became the starter of the Seattle Seahawks, and we went and won the Super Bowl. Not only at the University of Louisville, but now throughout my career in the NFL, I have a platform. But the more I got out into the community, the more I understood that. How we came about with American Football Without Barriers, me and Gary Barnage and my other partner, Ahmed Awadallah, were sitting at PF Chang's talking about how other sports are all over the globe. They're international. The first thing we agreed upon was that this was going to be a free football camp. So our first trip was to Shanghai, China. We set up a combine drill one day, and these kids were just true fans, fanatic about these combine drills. China was a success. The second year, we went to Brazil. Our 3rd trip, we went to Istanbul, Turkey. That was probably our biggest camp. We had over 1,000 campers. When we go on these trips, we see some pretty cool things too. One of my favorite memories is when we were in Istanbul. This one kid, you could see that he was trying hard and he wanted to do the right things, but he couldn't catch a ball. He couldn't stay off the ladder, and that was really frustrating him. You could see he was frustrated. You could see that he was trying. And Marshawn Lynch took this kid and stepped off the field with him, and him and this kid talked for about an hour and a half. This kid came back and was on fire, man. I don't know what Marshawn said to him, but he didn't miss another ball. He didn't miss another step. he changed instantly. You could see it. The mother contacted us crying with tears of joy that whatever that Marshawn told her, she just wanted to thank Marshawn because this kid was going down the wrong path, she was telling us, and doing the wrong things, and just spoke about how much this kid's life has already changed in 3 days for the good. You know, just by having a role model talk to him. Part of what my cleats represent is the opportunity that you can have through football and education, you know. I've seen my daughter have all these opportunities, and I want to change the world through sport and education, and see the smile that I see on my daughter's face and somebody else's face. You know, I could see it in my daughter, and I want that same feeling for other kids too, you know, and so my cleats represent a lot. In Week 13, NFL players around the league will proudly display their charitable causes on their game day cleats. Learn more about these personal tributes at NFL.com/mycausemycleats and on Whistle Sports.